heartbreaking. I notice the difference now that I don't smoke. It's way easier. I'm much more high range now that I don't smoke. But as far as like individual characters, I think we'd be giggled at if we showed up in costume for work. I think that would be highly, highly suspect.
You see this guy in his car driving down the highway with like a sword sticking out of his back, and I'd probably stop and like, okay.
That's kind of the funny thing. I think people think that when we go in to record, it's like being at a convention. It's really not. It's work. It's totally work. You get locked in a room and you start recording. That's it. And you don't come out until your session's over. I think it's a pretty rigid business. I think it's a business where you get no excuses. You're late. No excuse for being late. So you're either like, hey, I'm sorry. You definitely don't no call, no show for work. I think I'm much more, that's my phone is going off, I can hear it.
I can't
hear that, good. Okay, I'm glad you cannot hear that on the tape. It's sounding cursing, that's my phone ringer right now.
Oh, yeah, now I can hear it.
So, but like, I think it's a pretty hardcore job. I don't think it's like having a retail job where, you know, you can call in if you don't feel good or whatever.
Right, yeah.
It's a
so
job
you guys have deadlines for all your projects.
Hardcore deadlines. And he's like left the country to do work. Like, I mean, you have to sometimes when they say you can work, you just have to jump in work exactly when the work's available, and it's not whether it's necessarily even convenient. You have to meet a production schedule.
So what? Now this comes from another one of our correspondents. He wanted to know what was the most favorite character that you guys have done? Like whether it's been personality or just the character overall.
So much, but it's like for me, there's so many characters that I play that I really enjoy. If I were to kind of like try to narrow it down to one character, it's probably the Nero that was but then there's a lot of reasons. I got to go to Japan to do the motion capture. That made it like really special. I mean, if I got to go to Japan to do any character, that would be pretty cool. But then one of my favorite things about that is that I wasn't limited to pictures. Whereas we coach the odds themselves to draw. Right. If they draw the character screaming and yelling or laughing, I've got to do that with Devil May Cry 4 or the script. So I got to really have to create the emotion, and where I was going to take it. So I think for me though, it could be any character that has a really great emotional range throughout their
Oh yeah, good story is always the half of it. What about you, Greg?
I'm like Johnny. It's really hard. Oh, by the way, this girl in Devil May Cry is one of my favorites too. I even called him Tamayo as like, dude, I just got that game. It's awesome. Like, and his fighting sounds are really like Johnny. Of all the people in this industry, Johnny has some of my favorite fighting sounds, and he can do it pretty quick, like in a one take. I know they were bragging about his fight in Vex, but he just did it in one take, and it sounded like his really fight. But I'm with Johnny. It's really hard to pick. There's so many shows. Like I love Vex. I really strongly believe in the message of Vex. Comic Crusade is one of my all-time favorite shows. I met the creator of Manga Daisuke Moriyama while we were still recording the show, and that's a huge honor. And he's a super cool guy. And Sayuki was one of my first big shows, and I was a fan of that show. So it's really hard to pick. Evangelion was one, but then I got demoted, and I'm playing a lesser character in the new version of Evangelion. So suddenly I don't like Evangelion so much. So it's really hard. It's hard to pick one, and you like them all for different reasons.
So okay, now on the topic of Evangelion, what happened with
may or may not answer this on camera.
Oh, okay. If you don't want to answer, that's perfectly fine.
Somebody decided that I would make a better Kensuke than a Kaoru. It wasn't even a judgment call as to whether I would be good at one or the other. It was just one of these. Okay, well, this is the new cast. And I don't necessarily agree with that casting choice. I don't really even like the new shows all that much because it kind of wish Dynax would get off Ava and start something new. I think it's great for all these people that never were a part of Ava. I know the feelings. I was dragged into it during Director's Cut, but I really don't want to see Dynax turn Evangelion into Ranma or clothes. Like Evangelion's really got to have a finish. writing the end of a show, I would say stop retooling the story. The show is good. It's a classic. It's a, one of those iconic pieces in anime. Like, you don't have to do anything. It's perfect. But I'd have to be easy bitter. It's not as bad as Monica. Monica went from playing Maya Ibuki to Pet Pet. She went from being a person to a penguin. So she got an anatomy downgrade too.
Okay.
Like, she's definitely a mammal. But it's whatever. Like, and then you get bummed about losing one show or something like that, and you work on a new show that you love.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, one can always hope. Now I've heard you talk about this in some of the panels throughout the years. What is your guys' opinion on 4Kids? And I'm not sure if you heard this part, but a little while back, Tokyo TV said that they were going to sue for
very
4Kids.
real lawsuit.
Yeah, and apparently they were finding money from them, and that Funimation might be getting Yu-Gi-Oh! It hasn't been declared yet or not.
No, there's no even speculation on that yet. This is still just a legal case. And as such, I know I used to work in a law firm, so the official line on this is, as none of us are named in the lawsuit, we really can't comment on anything that is talked about. It's there is a lawsuit. It is about misappropriation of funds. That all that information is public. It's on Anime News Network, and that's not deniable. But how we really feel about that's not important. The case is going to have to play out in court. It would be sad, like, but business. That's what happens in business.
Well, if you break the law,
Or did you want to try trying my name?
Paralyzed.
Paralyze it?
Yeah.
had to think about that one?
Don't do this.
It's only okay if you're of legal age, or if your parents there. I'm trying not to go into it. I'm Scottish. I'm used to this. Like this is.
Oh yeah. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
For you it's different.
Yeah. For me it's different.
You have to save things in life. You have to have something to look forward to when you're old.
Yeah.
You can't do it all when you're young.
So, but with